My primary goal is to help ensure that our customers are as successful with the product as possible. I work within the product engineering software portfolio group, and that group's main responsibility is the NX CAD product, right, which is our flagship CAD product. So, what NX is primarily known for is really just the overall breadth and depth of the product, right? It is one of the most powerful CAD products out there on the market, right? I mean, we can cover, literally every aspect of design, everything from upfront styling and design, all the way through to, of course, 3D modeling. We can get into, things like generative engineering now, and the other aspect of the product is it is really a suite of products, right? So you have not only NX CAD, but you have NX CAM, you have the simulation side of things, and the beauty of that is it's all integrated within one single application, right? So, once you've learned NX and say you're an NX CAD user, switching over into the manufacturing environment and utilizing NX CAM is not a huge leap because it's still NX, right? You're literally just switching into the manufacturing mode from the design mode. So same type of user interface, same type of user structure, right? The only differences, of course, are now the functions are tailored towards manufacturing with CAM, whether you're doing 5-axis, multi-axis, what have you, right? And so I think that's one of the big beauties of the product. I think the other big area where NX really stands out is in the area of multidiscipline design as well, right? So designing of products today, right, it's not just about the individual part anymore, or even the assembly or what have you, and it's not all mechanical anymore either, right? You look at any products that's developed today. I mean, I've seen umbrellas with Bluetooth modules in them, so, everything has got some form of electronics or some form of electrical aspect, and so, you have to have a tool that is really multidiscipline, right, and can cover not only the mechanical side, but the integrations with electrical, the integrations with electronic, integrations into even simulation, and now even integrations into software, right, with software-driven design and that sort of aspect. So those are some of the key areas for NX, I think. Yeah. What makes us more relevant than our competitors? I would say that it's our ability for our customers to be successful in using our products. I look at the number of accounts and the number of companies that we have out there that are designing products and being successful with those products, bringing their products to market as quickly and rapidly as possible. You look at many of the top OEMs out there across many different industries, and they're all using NX. It's not to say that competitive products that those customers can't be successful as well, but I tend to find and believe that there's much more success coming from those that are using NX. And I think it's not just NX in itself either. I think it's because of the overall portfolio that we have and the integration across the accelerator portfolio, if you will, right into other areas of the organization, right? It's the combination of NX together with Teamcenter, together with Siemens and all of those linkages and integrations, that holistic end-to-end solution is really what makes our customers successful. Nobody else can really do that the way that we can do it. And now, you bring in things with, like, I talked about multidiscipline a moment ago, right? And you think about our Siemens EDA brethren, right, and what we're doing there, and the integrations with the electronic side and the semiconductor side. That's all part of that, overall portfolio and the ability to make our customers successful, because we have a fully integrated solution to offer to them. And it's tailored solutions, right, by industry, right? You look at the digital thread capabilities that we're doing now. Tony talked about that yesterday. Joe talked a little bit about that. I think that's a very critical aspect of things too. It's not just having the tools that will help make our customers successful, but having the overall solution, right, that will help make them successful. and showing them, right, how they can get from point A to point B as quickly as they possibly can, right, and having everything there and available for them. The immersive engineering is, I think, just going to be incredibly game-changing, right? It's one thing to be able to utilize, traditional VR, virtual reality, to go in and see what a part or an assembly or a product is going to look like. But what users have really always wanted to be able to do is while they're doing their VR visualizations and they're in there and they're immersed in whatever the product is, and they see something that they'd like to tweak or adjust or change, they've never been able to do that before. And now they'll have the ability to do that, right? And you saw that through the Sony partnership introduction, the new headset. That's going to be game changing, right? So that's one big area. I think the other one that we're really excited about and that we're introducing here at Realize Live this year, and Tony also talked about this, and Joe as well, is NXX, right? So NXX is our new cloud deployment or cloud version of NX. It is the same NX that our users know and love from a product functional perspective, capability perspective. There's no difference, right? NX, NXX are all NX, right? What's different is the user experience in terms of how the product is deployed, how it's managed, how it's maintained, right? So, think of it as very much like your office products that you utilize today, right? You have your email application running or your spreadsheet application running on your desktop, but everything else is managed up in the cloud, right? Your user, information's in the cloud, your data could even be in the cloud, what have you. So NXX is very much the same way, right? So NXX is still deployed on your desktop as a desktop application, but all of the user management, deployment, installation, and whatnot is all managed through the cloud. Joe asked everybody the question yesterday, how many clicks does it take to get NXX up and running? 5, right? And that's no joke. I mean, that's real. From the time that a user receives their onboarding email, they click on the installer, they click to install NX, they click to install data management on it. That's 5 clicks total to be completely up and running with NXX with built-in data management.